So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gaurav Shah, as you all know, right? And I'll be discussing the joint stock formation of joint stock company and partnership. This is the fifth chapter that I didn't get to explain in the meeting today, so I'm just uploading this video to Google Classroom so that you all can see and understand. Okay, we'll start clockwise. We'll start from here and we'll go clockwise. What is a joint stock company? A company is an artificial person having a separate legal entity and perpetual succession and a common seal. There are four important things in this definition: artificial person, separate legal entity, perpetual succession, and common seal. Right? These are all part of the features also. Um, the features might get jumbled up. I'm sorry about that. First is transferability of shares. Okay, this is one of the main features of a joint stock company, where the shares that a company might issue can be sold on the stock exchange, right? They can be sold openly. One person can sell them, other person can buy them and own the own part of the company. Separate legal entity. This is part of the definition also, right? It is not the owners and the company are two separate entities, right? Business entity concept also assures this. Perpetual succession. The company will, we assume that the company will run on forever, right? The only way that it can be dissolved is through legal action. Artificial person. Company is an artificial person. Okay, so it is not living, breathing, running, eating, whatever, right? But it can sue or be sued. It can buy or sell properties and make investments in its own name. Common seal, right? Common seal is a substitute for the signature of a company, right? Since a company, a company has to approve whatever deals or anything that is happening against it or for it or within it, right? So a common seal is used as a substitute of the signature. No legal document about the company is binding without the common seal. Limited liability. The liability of the shareholders is limited to the amount of capital that they input. For example, if I invest 10,000 rupees into the company, my liability will only be that 10,000 rupees, right? The company cannot ask me to pay more. Control, right? So the board of directors handle most of the control of the organization, right? They're the ones who have total control over it, along with the shareholders. That is, they are elected representatives. Risk bearing. This is shared by all shareholders. Risk is shared by all shareholders. Okay, so it is spread out thin. Types of companies: we have private company, public company, and one-person company. Private company: a private company is an entity that is held by private owners. Public company: a public company is an entity that has the permission to issue registered securities to the general public and is traded on at least one stock exchange. Okay, so private company has shares definitely, but these are only amongst private owners. Whereas public company has to go through additional steps so that its shares can be provided to the general public on a stock exchange. One-person company is a company which has only one person as a shareholder, right? The difference between a one-person company and a sole proprietorship is that one-person company is governed by the same Companies Act 2013. Okay, sorry, there are some important documents that we will also discuss which are part of the formation of a company. We have memorandum of association. This can be compared to the charter of the company. Charter is the laws, right? Laws and regulations of the company. It has the name clause, uh, right? It has the registered office clause or the situation clause. This is the address of the company. Object clause, main object and other objects. These represent the objectives of the firm, right? What it wants to do. The main objective is the one focused goal, right? For example, providing for Netflix, maybe it will be providing easy streaming, right, to its consumers at a cheap cost. Other objects, maybe all the other objectives that a company wants to achieve, right? And all of the activities that are involved in fulfilling these objectives, right, are considered valid in the as part of the company. Liability clause. This states the liability of each of the shareholders, right, which is limited to the amount of capital that they input. Capital clause, right, the amount of capital of the shares, it discusses all of that. Association clause. This is what the board of this is when the board of directors say that they want to be part of the company. It involves their name and addresses. Prospectus. Okay, it is an invitation to the general public to subscribe for shares or debentures. Now, a company can file a prospectus, but it can also file a statement in lieu of prospectus. Lieu means instead of. Okay, so a company filing a statement instead of prospectus will mean that a company is sure that it does not need to advertise to the general public to subscribe the shares. They are confident that they can raise it from private sources. Okay, so they will just issue a statement and know the prospectus. Article of association. These are the rules and regulations regarding a company's management of a company's internal affairs. Okay, it can also be compared to the bylaws of the company. An alternative. So a company does not need to make the article of association always. They can use the article of association, a sample template given in the table A of Schedule of Companies Act 1956. Okay, this can be altered by passing a special resolution. Whereas memorandum of association can only be altered using, after passing a resolution in the, company, but also using, also by the, sorry, yeah, by the permission of the central government. Sorry. Okay, then we have the stages of forming a private limited company and stages of forming a public limited company. We will start with stage one, which is promotion. This is done by a promoter who can be one person, an institution, or an organization, right? Doing this. So the first step is identification of business opportunity. Again, pretty self-explanatory, right? You just have to identify what you want to deal in. Feasibility studies. This is to know whether your business is sustainable, right? We have economical feasibility studies, technological feasibility studies, and financial feasibility studies. Name approval. You need to get the name of the company approved. Fixing up of signatories to the memorandum of association. Okay, these will be your first directors also in the company. Appointment of professionals. You need to appoint professionals to help you prepare the necessary documents, right? And once these necessary documents are prepared, you will file these documents under the stage 2 incorporation. After filing the documents, you will pay the fees. Then you'll have the registration happen, where the registrar of companies will write the company's name in the register of firm. In the register, in his register, and then certificate of incorporation is issued along with the CID corporate CIN corporate ID number, right, which will be used to identify the company. Stage 1 and stage 2 are similar to the stages of forming a private limited company. This is the stages of forming a public limited company. Okay, so stage 1 promotion and stage 2 incorporation are also included. Along with that, we have stage 3 capital subscription. That is when shares are issued for the general public. First, we get SEBI approval, right? SEBI stands for Securities Exchange. I'm sorry, I'll have to check back in with the definition of SEBI later. Sorry, I forgot, but I'll mention that again. Filing of prospectus or statement in lieu of prospectus. Okay, as I've said, statement in lieu of prospectus and filing of prospectus has already been explained, right? Appointment of professionals, which is bankers, brokers, and underwriters. Right, these are all to help with the shares, right? Underwriters especially, they will buy up the shares in case the company cannot find buyers for the shares. Minimum subscription, right? The company needs to reach a minimum amount of capital. They need to gain a minimum amount of capital from shareholders before they can start operations. Application to a stock exchange, right? They need to apply to a stock exchange so that they can be on it. Then there's allotment of shares, okay, where shares are given given out to the general public. Then finally, there is a commencement of business along with a certificate of commencement. Okay, then we'll talk about partnership. Okay, we've covered joint stock company. Now we'll talk about partnership. Must act under the Partnership Act of 1932. Right, it begins by the entering of the firm's name in the register of firms kept with the registrar of firms, which concludes the registration of partnership. Okay, partnership are established with an oral or written agreement. The document containing the agreement in writing is known as the partnership deed. It is the most important document of a partnership. It only comes into existence when two or more people agree to carry out the business together. Then we have partnership form of business is common in small and medium scale enterprises. Okay, it only happens when a small scale, when a sole proprietorship, a business gets larger than it was before, when it expands and one person cannot handle everything. So he includes partners. Okay, then types of partnership. Partnership can be classified on the basis of duration, which will be partnership at will, and particular partnership. Partnership at will, right, will extend until the partnership, one partner, something happens to one partner and the partnership dissolves. And particular partnership is done only to complete a certain task. On the basis of liability, we have particular partnership. Oh, sorry, I copied it wrong again. It's going to be limited liability partnership and general partnership. Okay, so limited liability partnership, you will have under that only one partner will have unlimited liability and everyone else will have a limited liability. That one person with unlimited liability is the only one who will have control over the management of the company. Everybody else will be a silent partner. Okay, Then under the general partnership, everybody in the company has unlimited liability and they all have equal rights and equal duties to the company. Okay, and that is it with the chapter. Thank you.